Hey, third grade. It's that time of the week again. Second step with Mr. Santella. This entire unit is going to be about empathy. And just to refresh your memory, empathy is feeling or understanding what someone else is feeling. Compassion is empathy in action. So when you use compassion, you're also using empathy. We'll quickly review the last two lessons of this unit. The first one was about identifying others' feelings. That's when we were feelings detectives. And we used body language, we used facial expressions to really figure out how people were feeling. And if you remember, we watched the video about the chocolate milk explosion. The second lesson we did was about understanding perspectives. If you remember, there was a picture of a guy on a stranded on a desert island, and then there was a guy on a boat going towards the island. They were in the same situation, but they had different perspectives. The guy on the boat was like, oh, I want to get off the boat. I want to get on the land. And the guy on the land was like, oh, I'm tired of this. I need to get on a boat and get out of here. Same situation, different perspectives, right? And remember, people can have different feelings about the same situation, and those feelings can also change within that situation. And when you think about others' perspectives, you have empathy for them. Today's second step lesson is conflicting feelings. During this lesson, you will learn to identify conflicting feelings a person could have in response to different scenarios. You'll learn to explain possible reasons for someone's conflicting feelings in response to scenarios. After the lesson, you'll understand you can have conflicting feelings about a situation, and everybody does. At some point in your life, probably each and every day, you have some sort of conflicting feelings about something. You'll also understand that having empathy helps you notice when others' feelings are the same or different than yours. Conflicting feelings. When a person has different feelings about a situation. So here's a couple examples. Excited to see a scary movie, but also anxious to see a scary movie. You want to see it, but you're also like kind of, oh no, they're going to jump out, they're going to scare me. Two different feelings about the same situation. Another example would be you're happy to be back at school, but you're also worried to be back at school with everything going on, everybody having to wear masks. You might be worried. This is Eva. Her and her classmates are learning about the differences between solids and liquids. The teacher brought in this strange substance called oobleck for them to experiment with. But first, the teacher is offering everyone a chance to touch it. Now, you can actually make oobleck. If you look it up online, it's super easy and it's really fun to play with. But obviously, ask your parents first. Now, Eva has more than one feeling about touching the oobleck. So if she has more than one feeling about a situation or a scenario, she has conflicting feelings. How do you think she feels? Well, I think she feels curious, nervous, a little unsure. How can you tell? Well, I'm being a feelings detective, and I can tell by her facial expressions, her body language, and even just the situation. Why does Eva feel curious? Good question. Well, because the oobleck is new, and because the oobleck is interesting. Why does Eva feel nervous? Well, because the oobleck looks gooey, because it might feel gross. Ew. Conflicting feelings. Eva has two different feelings about touching the oobleck, curious and nervous. She has conflicting feelings. Again, everybody does. At some point, you'll have conflicting feelings about something. Your turn. If you felt curious, would you touch the oobleck? Okay. If you felt nervous, would you touch the oobleck? Okay. Now, curious and nervous are conflicting feelings. It's okay to feel curious and nervous. Of course it is. Everyone has conflicting feelings, but they're making it hard for Eva to decide what to do. And conflicting feelings can do that. You might not want to make a choice. Those conflicting feelings are really messing with your ability to make a decision. But you know what she does? Eva notices the other students who look like they're feeling the same way. They also have conflicting feelings about touching the oobleck. So what can Eva do to help herself decide? Well, she can watch and see what others do, kind of take those cues from her peers. She can also tell her teacher or a friend about her feelings. All right, what do you think Eva actually does? Well, when it's her turn, Eva assertively, and remember we talked about assertive, she assertively tells the teacher about her conflicting feelings. Guess what? The teacher's like, okay, cool. The teacher says it's okay to feel both curious and nervous. She reminds everyone that they can choose to touch the oobleck or just watch. Eva decides not to touch it. And guess what? Other students do too. So identifying conflicting feelings is important. So what are some conflicting feelings these students could have in these scenarios? I'm going to show you some, and you tell me what are some conflicting feelings that students could have. So Nicole loves swimming lessons. Today her class is jumping off the diving board. She doesn't want to jump. So what conflicting feelings could Nicole be feeling? Nervous, scared, excited? I remember the first time I ever jumped off a diving board. I knew how to swim. I felt these feelings too. I was nervous, like, oh, well, it's a diving board. I'm out in the middle of the water. I'm not close to the wall. I was scared. Well, what if I can't make it to the wall? But I was also excited to jump as high as I could and make a huge splash. Here's another scenario. Jared is visiting family, and it's time to go home. He wishes he could stay, but he also can hardly wait to go home. What conflicting feelings is Jared having? He's happy, maybe? Anxious? Tired? I know when I used to go visit my cousins, I was so excited to get there. But after we played all day, I was so tired. I couldn't wait to go home. But I also just really loved hanging out with my cousins. So I didn't want to leave, but I knew I was tired. So I had conflicting feelings. Last one. Kara is going to her cousin's party. She loves parties, but she won't know any of her cousin's friends. Now, I've had this scenario as well, going to a birthday party where I know the person whose birthday it is, but I don't know anybody else. What feelings do you think Kara is feeling? Excited, happy, scared, nervous, right? Excited to go to the party, happy to be with her friend or her cousin, but scared and nervous because she doesn't know anybody. And that can kind of be an awkward feeling when you don't know anybody but one person in a scenario. All right, great job today, scholars. Today, you learned that you can have conflicting feelings about a scenario. Today, you identified conflicting feelings Eva and other students had in response to a scenario. You explained possible reasons for Eva's conflicting feelings. And today you used empathy and perspective to better understand Eva's feelings. Great job. We're going to end today's lesson with the empathy song. Here we go.
In every situation, your feelings mean so much to you, but you know that you're not alone. There's other folks with feelings too. So when you get together, try to understand how they might feel, because they might have their own ideas with feelings that are just as real. Oh, empathy means feeling what others feel. You felt it too. Happy, sad, angry,
All right, scholars, until I see you next week, have a great rest of your week. Bye.